Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar. Our subject today is Custom Components 101 and we're going to feature connection type components today. Once again, my name is Ian Coates. I'm the product manager for the steel segment here in our USA office, and I'm joined again by Lee Snyder, our application consultant, also in the steel segment. Our next webinar will be generally the first Wednesday of each month, so that would make it the 1st of June at 12 p.m. Eastern Time in the US. And we're thinking about doing a series of fabricator webinars, a collection of tools that can be used by steel retailers or steel fabricators in particular. And the one that we're going to focus on next month is using the Tekla structures model for some basic estimating. And then we'll follow on through with a tool for just about almost every part of the construction life cycle. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Lee Snyder, who's going to talk today a little bit about custom components.
Okay, thank you, Ian. I'm going to go ahead now and jump into the Tekla structures model that I have created. And the purpose of this is we're creating a connection that's going to be used multiple times throughout this project. Now, this is a unique connection that Tekla currently does not have a system component to do. The engineer and architects have designed this, if I zoom out here, kind of as a canopy connection that's going to be architecturally exposed, that will be used multiple times throughout the perimeter of this project. So what we're going to do is create this as a custom component so that we can control the bolt spacing, we can control the chamfers or the radiuses on these curves, the welds, and have that adapt and adjust if the sizes of the column and this horizontal beam change. So in order to create a custom component, what we're going to do is go up to detailing, down to component, and we're going to choose define custom component. And this right here that we're going to create is a connection type component, which means that two objects are going to be colliding or clashing. So this column and this beam are the clash that will be created there. The other types that you could create are detail, seam, and part, and we'll focus on those in later webinars depending on the feedback of how this one goes. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a name and just call this an architectural component. Go ahead and click on next. And I'm just going to follow the directions that are here. It says in the model, select the objects that will form the custom component. So I'm just going to window highlight this area. I have this fitting that I've selected that's cutting the column down to the underside of the beam. I have the two plates, 4 welds, and these erection bolts that will make up this component. These 4 welds, one of these, I have this shop welded here to the column, one of these plates, and then it will be field welded to the beam. And then the opposite plate I have shop welded to the beam, and then that will then be field welded to the column, and these bolts are used as erection aids.
Yeah, and it's also worth noting there, just notice that Lee has only selected the component objects. He hasn't selected the supporting or the supported members because that's going to come along later.
Yep, so when I go ahead and click next on this, it says now in the model, click to locate the main part for this connection. And just to keep it consistent with the system components, I'm going to select the column first as the main part, click next, and then select the secondary parts in picking order. I only have one secondary part, so I'm going to select the horizontal beam and click finish. Now what this does is it creates a